Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever in the world you are watching. I want to welcome all participants and all other viewers. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the last event. Welcome to the closing ceremony of the RSM Star Case Competition 2021. Glad that you all could make it. We've had an amazing week. We have had 2 challenging cases, and a very interesting panel discussion with 4 inspiring speakers. We've had some social activities to get to know each other a little bit better. And now it's time out to round up the whole week with the closing ceremony. First of all, I want to congratulate all the participants on finishing this challenging week. From wherever you are in the world, you had to wake up very early or had to make long hours in the night, but you've done it. Congratulations on especially finishing the 2 challenging cases. You did a great job, and now it's time for you to relax and enjoy the opening ceremony, the closing ceremony. I also want to thank the Case Development Center for making 2 challenging but very inspiring cases again. Without your help for the last couple of years, the RSM Star Case Competition would not be possible. And also, I want to thank all jury members for both the 12-hour case and the 24-hour case. It was very close in the divisions. I had the opportunity to moderate 2 divisions, one for the 12-hour case and one for the 24-hour case. And in both divisions, it was extremely close. But your sharp questions in the Q&A and your thought conclusions were very helpful, and eventually you are deciding the winner. Next for you, we have an exciting event. We have several speeches from both our case partners, from the Dean of the Rotterdam School of Management, from our own chairman of the RSM Star Case Club, and our supervisor. So first, I want to introduce our first speaker. He has been an academic leader at several universities throughout Europe. He is now a professor of corporate strategy, organization, and governance. He has been a management consulting at McKinsey & Company for 3 years, but most importantly, he is the Dean of our own Rotterdam School of Management. Please give a warm welcome to our Dean, Ansgar Richter.
Thank you very, very much for the warm welcome. Dear students, colleagues, company representatives, as Dean of RSM, I'm very proud to be with you during the closing ceremony of the RSM Star Case Competition in 2021. And to say just a few words, this event is organized by the RSM Star Case Club. And the annual RSM Star Case Competition is a unique opportunity for 16 teams from top business schools worldwide to compete by applying the academic theory they learn at their respective schools in a practical way and to present their solutions to real-life business cases to a jury. And I'm really proud of those students in the organizing committee who've pulled off another great event. Despite it being fully online now for the 2nd time in a row, I'm proud of all the participating students who have worked enormously hard over the past week. And I really wonder how many hours of sleep they've had in total. As has been said, I would also really like to speak on behalf of RSM, our partners, our sponsors, case sponsors, the case partners. I'd like to thank Tao Yu from our case center, Otto Kopgutz, faculty advisor from RSM, and everyone who's been involved with it. Now, the first case was on Coca-Cola, and it was a really challenging one. But it was particularly important because it is very, very close to RSM's mission to be a force for positive change. Because this case was on sustainability. I'm going to say a little bit more about that later on in my speech. In the second case, it was a fantastic startup company, DocuBird, in this case, it required a completely different approach. And the focus of this case work was really on the topic of this year's case competition, namely on food to go by scaling up. I was really impressed by the quality of the presentation that I saw as a jury member for this case competition in particular. It was outstanding work done by all the teams. Now, in our current fast-changing societies, companies are required to continuously adapt to changes and to think out of the box in order to realize future growth. I can most certainly relate to the participating students because, as has been said before, at the beginning of my career, I was working with a leading management consulting firm. I'd like to pass on essentially 3 insights that I learned from my work there and that I felt were reaffirmed when I listened to the presentation today. First of all, be clear about your value proposition. If you want to grow, you need to have a clear-cut value proposition. And you can define this value proposition only from the perspective of the customer. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You need to know what it is that your customer considers as value in order to define your own value proposition. And another aspect that you should be able to do is to really quantify that as well, to put specific information, quantitative and qualitative information, in order to really make that value proposition tangible and translate it into a successful business model as well. The second message that I would like to share with you is, this old adage to stick to your knitting. I've done academic work in this area as well, and many of you will be familiar with this notion of dynamic capability, which are oftentimes, if you look at the literature, oftentimes juxtaposed to ordinary or operational capabilities. Now, what our research actually showed is that those operational capabilities are as important as the dynamic capabilities of innovation and so on, right? So really the operational, the implementational capabilities are really critical, in particular for young and for medium-sized companies that still have to learn those kind of things. Now, the third aspect is, that a lot of companies, if they want to grow fast, they need to capitalize on big societal trends as well. And I think that's what we've seen in the case presentations this week as well, both in the Coca-Cola case as well as in the Dr. Bird case, right? If you look at the Coca-Cola case in particular, you will see this importance of sustainability, which links very, very closely to our mission. I'm convinced that business is indeed a powerful instrument for addressing big societal, economic, and ecological challenges, and that the positive change that we talk about in our mission can really be achieved. What I've seen here today as a member of the jury are companies that are willing to step up and put forward their complex cases for young business students to shed their light on. And I want to thank these companies for their important role in bringing about this impactful business experience for our students, the business leaders for tomorrow. They have the mission to become a force of positive change by carrying their innovative mindset into a sustainable future. So, in closing, I firmly believe that this type of collaboration between students, teachers, and companies is useful and impactful for all involved. So thanks again for the teams from all of the participating schools. Thanks to the companies and all the students. I look forward to seeing you again next year around the same time. Hopefully, we will then be able to meet each other in real life here in Rotterdam. In the meantime, good luck with all your endeavors. Stay safe. All the very best.
Many thanks, Professor Ansgar Richter, for your inspiring words. And also, thanks a lot for being a jury member at our case competition. It's really appreciated. Moving on, it's already time for our second speaker of today. He is the Vice President of Coca-Cola European Partners. And you might recognize him still from last week, Saturday, during the company introduction. I would love to introduce, thanks for being here again, Hans van Bokhoven.
Thank you very much for having me again. We are at the end of another business case competition week organized by RSM Star. And once again, it has been a great honor and pleasure for us to be the supporter of this event. What is very important for us is that we see that students take so much pride and so much energy into trying to solve the business cases. And for us, as the Dean already alluded to, it's a great way of trying to stimulate the competences of students for solving such complex cases. It's not the first year that we do this. We've done this several years in a row. And we also hope to stay involved in the future. The reason for that is that it gives us a unique opportunity. It gives us a unique opportunity to work with students, as the Dean already alluded to, that are tomorrow's leaders, tomorrow's business leaders, and particularly when it comes to sustainability, a whole new generation. What's also important for us as Coca-Cola is that we have the opportunity to put cases to you, which is a generation that is of critical importance to Coca-Cola. And second, we learn directly from you how to take certain things on in practice. And that has also been the case in the 12-hour case that we had the pleasure to host this year. It was a very complicated case, and we had really doubts whether or not we should put this forward to you, because it was about brand Coca-Cola, which is the most precious thing that our company has, and have you play with it, particularly from a sustainability perspective. How can you leverage the brand to communicate more about the sustainable efforts that we are putting in place? And actually, we were amazed by the quality of the output. And I had some new colleagues and also some old colleagues in our jury this year in the different pools that we had, because we had as much as 16 case competitors solving this case. And each and every one of them said, how excited they were to go through it, and that they were actually amazed by basically the quality of the cases and the amount of analysis, and also the creativity, and then also the professionality of the presentation that you were able to put in only 12 hours. So that was amazing. So thank you very, very much for that. Which kind of brings me, to the final of the 12-hour case. We had 4 universities, competing in not any order. We had Gadjah Mada from Indonesia. We had the University of Calgary, we had the Rotterdam School of Management, and we had the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. And as I said before we started the final rounds, making it to that final, in essence, makes you all winners, because you already won a pre-round, and you already got great feedback from that pre-round. What I would like to offer you, because you're not getting any in-depth feedback at the moment, is that we offer you a masterclass with international Coca-Cola marketeers who are actually working on exactly the same case as you've been working on, so that you can experience firsthand how those practical marketeers are dealing with this on behalf of our company. We will take a few weeks, to get there, because as you can imagine, it's a live case, so there are sensibilities in there, sensitivities. So that is what we need some time for to work out. But again, we will take all of you through that case. And we've also arranged for the winner of the 12-hour case to be able to present to our senior executive team as well. So, you will go again, in the Lions Den facing, the same questions, or maybe even better questions than the ones that you already got, when going through the final presentation. So the only thing that is left is to basically tell you who won the 12-hour case competition, but not without telling you that you made it extremely difficult for that jury to come to a conclusion. Actually, it took much longer than we had anticipated. And the reason was that we had strong discussions about, what to, value more. Was it the analysis, the quality of the analysis? Was it the creativity of the presented solution? Was it the practicability? So could you actually put the solution in practice? And, you will already have guessed, all 3 matter. So what I would like to do is, first of all, to give you number 4 and number 3, and then we will get ultimately to the winner. So on the 4th place, it's the Rotterdam School of Management. Again, you're a winner in your pool, but you're number 4 in the final. 3rd place is the University of Gadjah Mada from Indonesia, which leaves 2 universities for the winner. One is Calgary, the other one is the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. And, to keep it a bit more in suspense, we were doubting between one solution that was extremely creative, but at the same time also extremely disturbing in the sense that it really rocked, the existing situation. The other solution that we discussed was equally creative, but may have had, more analysis underneath and also was, stronger in practicability, so we could actually apply it. So, number 2, and ultimately number 1, which is I will start with. Number 1, Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. And again, I want to congratulate you on behalf of the entire jury and thank you again, for all the quality thinking that you've put in solving the case competition. Please enjoy.
Congratulations to Hong Kong University of Science and Technology on winning the 12-hour case for Coca-Cola European Partners. Hans, do you have any last words of advice to the team winning the case?
No, again, just a big thank you for putting all the efforts in that you did. As I said, all 4 teams will go into the masterclass with the Coca-Cola marketeers. But also the winner, so in this case, the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology will also do a presentation for us to our senior leadership team. And, what I would like to say, and that's probably the biggest compliment that I can give you, is you will probably recognize, some elements in your case compared to what the marketeers are trying to achieve in practice. So we are very much looking forward to hosting you. And again, congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you, Hans van Bokhoven. Thanks for your contribution with Coca-Cola European Partners again. We really appreciate your effort every year as a trusted partner of the RSM Star Case competition.
Most welcome. See you next year.
Wow, thank you. That was the winner of the 12-hour case. Congratulations again. It was very, very close, as Hans said, and I can't wait for the 24-hour case. As you know, the finals of the 24-hour case just finished. The preliminary rounds were yesterday and the finals just finished with Ansgar Richter also in the jury panel. It was very close as well. We had the opportunity to see some of the presentations myself and I couldn't decide myself, but I'm very excited to see who won the case. So without further ado, let me introduce the next speaker. He is the commercial lead at DocuBird, Erik Thijssen, and he will give a thank you speech and introduce the winner of the 24-hour case. Erik Thijssen.
Okay, hi all. So my name is Erik Thijssen. I'm in charge of marketing and sales for DocuBird. For DocuBird, the Microsoft add-in for smart document management. DocuBird makes document management easier than ever. It's to store your files in SharePoint, Teams, OneDrive, directly from Outlook, Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. So DocuBird is a tech startup which has developed a very specific detailed add-in into Microsoft 365, and that makes it a niche player. And that's, I think, why I'm even more impressed by what I saw over the last 2 days. While DocuBird is in that niche market, it's clear that it's not easy to answer the questions I've asked in the case, and especially not when you only have 24 hours. And therefore, I would like to express my astonishment about what have been presented. I'm deeply impressed by the quality, the detailing, and the in-depth knowledge of the participating students. We have been dealing with the crème de la crème of the worldwide business students. Everyone, regardless of their ranking, have done an amazing job and can be very proud of what they achieved in such a short time frame. There isn't, I think, one single presentation where there's no learning for DocuBird, and that, I think, is the quality of, and also, I think, the learning for us from all the presentations. In any presentation, there were at least 2 or 3, I think, creative points where DocuBird can really benefit from. And for that, I really want to thank you all. I want to thank you for the creative ideas, for the new business perspective, but especially for all the hard work you put into this. And again, amazing on what you have achieved in such a small time frame, and for questions which we struggle with on a daily basis, and are in many cases very difficult to answer, and only through a lot of work and a lot of effort can bring us a next step forward. So you really, really helped us with that. Having that said, unfortunately for many of you, there can only be one winner of the DocuBird competition. And what I want to do now is give you the ranking of the 24-hour competition. And as difficult as it was to get to a winner, I think at the end of the day, the jury was unanimous in the choice we made around who stood out really as best of all the presentations after the 16 presentations we've seen, and the 4 again in the finals. So on the 4th place, Rotterdam School of Management. Well done, guys. Very, very good presentation. 3rd place, the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Also very, very good. I think, again, what you saw here is the creme de la creme of what students can come up with. And then, of course, there can only be one winner. And the winner for the DocuBird 24-hour case competition is National University of Singapore. And that means that Copenhagen Business School came second. Well done, guys. Very impressive. Unanimous vote from the jury. All the elements, I think, which you handled were very good. Maybe a little bit on why we chose Singapore. First of all, I think the way you positioned DocuBird as the trusted thought leader in the market for document handling, that was very, very spot on, because we are in a market where there's already a few competitors on their way with quite a significant customer base. So how to discriminate between the competition? And I think then positioning yourself as that thought leader, that was very, very creative, I think, but also spot on I think, where we need to go. Your emphasis on the GDPR functionality as a key differentiator was very strong. I think there is where we actually do differentiate, and where we can make a difference between all competitors, especially those from the US. As you know, in the US, PII and say GDPR aren't that strongly focused on. So that's why, from a perspective of where we can differentiate, I think your GDPR functionality is key differentiator. And as well as the fact that you use that for your geo expansion, because you said, look, focus at Europe, because there's where the strongest GDPR legislation and guidance is, and then go to Asia Pacific as the fastest growing market, but also where the GDPR legislation and guidance is mostly adopted from what's been implemented in Europe. So that was I think, a very well thought through geo expansion. What I really liked around what I really liked around the way you presented was the fact that you took customer pains as your starting point. And that's always because at the end of the day, customers need to relate to your solution, and they can only do that when they understand which pains for them you are solving. And you did that in a very detailed way, from the pain points of a CIO to even individual users of the system. So that can be an administrator or an engineer. Everybody you showed how they could benefit from DocuBird, and that is very strong. With the DocuBird University as part of the website, where there is a knowledge base, where there's exchange of ideas, where there is the way customers can really get to details around what and how GDPR impact their document management. That was, I think, that's a really strong idea, which we're definitely going to be implemented. Also, the nice role-based videos and tutorials of the individual benefits make what document does very tangible. Very neatly done, very well described. Furthermore, I think you had solid financials. And we saw a wide range of potential growth for DocuBird in the market. And it's sort of varied from teams who thought DocuBird could get to 2.6 million in 2025 to teams who thought that we could get to 85 million, which personally I think is quite aggressive, but at least you made a statement on what you think DocuBird should be aspiring for. Your plan was solid. You had a good understanding on the costs of developing software, the focus on marketing and the way that interacts with generating revenue. And the scenarios of saying being a little bit less or more aggressive were also something which you articulated very well. So well done, Team Singapore. You are now our stars for the RSM competition, and it really appreciated. Your plan is impressively detailed, it's accurate and it's creative, and there's a lot we can directly start implementing and benefit from. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, National University of Singapore and Erik Thijssen and everyone at DocuBird. Thank you so much for your contribution to the RSM Star Case Competition 2021. We really enjoyed the case ourselves, and thank you so much again. Moving on, first I want to thank everyone for solving the cases and presenting to the jury members, and congratulations to the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology and to the National University of Singapore of winning our 12-hour and 24-hour case. I would like to introduce our next speaker. He has been an active case solver himself for 2 years now, and next to that he is the chairman of the RSM Star Case Club of 2020-2021. I've seen him for almost a year now, 2, 3, 4 times a week with our meetings on my screen. He's been the best chair we could have wished for, very strong in his opinion, but also very fair. He will give his speech, his thank you speech, and he will also introduce the overall ranking of the top 4 universities of the RSM Star Case Competition 2021. I would like to introduce Adrian.
Thank you very much for the kind words, Thomas. 170. So I did a bit of counting, and 170 is the number of people that have been involved in this competition in one way or the other. 80 of you have been faculty advisors and participants, and have over the past week just delivered amazing output. And I think it's needless to say, after listening to our partners, that you have not only convinced our partners, but also our jury members, and have done a great job at that. 90 people have been directly involved in the organization of this entire competition in one way or the other. Whether it is the organizing committee itself, whether it is our tech and camera team, whether it is the judges, our company partners, whether it is the case writers, the buddies, and the RSM advisors, the list is long. And coming from a case-solving perspective myself, only having taken part in competitions, seeing this side and realizing all of the organizational details that go into this is not just extremely impressive and insightful, but it has also been a huge learning. And it is needless to say that, of course, we did encounter some issues, or you might call them unexpected events, but I think throughout the week we have done our best together to handle them well. On a final note, I just want to say thank you to all of these 170 people in one way or the other for taking their responsibility and contributing in one way or the other to make all of this happen. That said, I don't even want to talk too much about this. I know especially the finalists must be very curious to see who the overall winner is. Maybe you have done the calculation yourself already, but I can say already that is very close. Maybe just to finish everything up, I hope all of you have had a really good time this past week. I hope you have had an amazing experience, have enjoyed this event, and can celebrate this in one way or the other. All right, let's come to the announcement of who won the entire competition. I will start with the fourth place. The fourth place is the Rotterdam School of Management, RSM. So good job to you guys.
Congratulations, Rotterdam School of Management.
Third place is CBS, Copenhagen Business School. Good job to you guys.
Also, congratulations, Copenhagen Business School.
All right, and then the first place, I have it here. Again, it has been extremely close. You can do the calculations yourself to see who exactly won and by how much. It has been very close, but the first place is NUS, the National University of Singapore. All right, really good job, guys.
Congratulations,
second
National...
place being HKUST, of course.
HKUST placing second. We had a chance to call in NUS. Congratulations, teams. How are you feeling?
Hi, guys. So yeah, it's an honor, honestly, to be invited to the competition, and yeah, I think both cases were really interesting for us. We had a lot of fun solving it. So just wanted to say a big thank you to the organizers of the competition as well as the judges. And also, we just wanted to thank our professor for advising us throughout this journey as well. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. What has been your personal highlight of the week? Was it the cases or was it a social activity?
I think for us, probably the most surprising or the most disappointing thing was the first case. So we didn't do so well. I think the other teams really performed great. But I think we really came together to try to perform for the second case. And I think that brought our team together, and we really enjoyed coming together and trying to solve the 24-hour case. So that was probably the highlight for our team.
Congratulations again on winning the RSM Star Case Competition 2021. That concludes the competition, but wait, don't leave yet. We have one more interesting speaker for you to conclude the RSM Star Case Competition closing ceremony. I want to introduce our last speaker. He has been our supervisor throughout the year. Next to that, he's the commercial relations manager of STAR, the biggest student-led study association in Europe. And most importantly, he's also my roommate. So for the past year, we've been in plenty of meetings together with just one ball in between, and at any challenge, he was there for us, for the whole committee, for everyone within the Case Club, within the RSM, as a shoulder to cry on. And I would like to introduce Matthijs van Kesteren.
Yeah, thank you very much, Thomas, roommate. First things first, I think. I want to congratulate, obviously, the winning team, HKUST. Well done. You've outdone yourself, so congratulations to you. Yes, Adrian said it already, 170 people, and that includes a lot of people in this room. Obviously, the technical support with Eelco, Han, Marcel and Florian, and all of the RSM staff involved. Linda, Hans, thank you very much. Everybody that I'm forgetting and that has been mentioned already, then thank you to you too. Year after year, this competition is growing, and year after year, there's a new group of people that is tasked to live up to these high expectations. And I will come to the protagonists of this all in a minute, but they could not have done it without everybody that I just mentioned. One group in particular, I think, also deserves to be mentioned. Because roughly 1 year ago, our study association decided to join the RSM Star case competition with the RSM Star Case Society to form the RSM Star Case Club. The former used to be responsible for the competition. The latter used to be responsible for training all the case solvers that have been to the competitions, of which the universities, a lot of the universities that are now watching, I'm sure you know some of the people that have been competing. We expected there to be synergies in the beginning, but we could not have dared to dream that it would have been this well, it would have worked this well, this setup. The experiences and expertise of the case solvers that are a part of the Case Club now have made that we could improve the experience for all the participants that joined the RSM Star Case Competition 2021. So I especially want to thank Jovan, Moritz, Jana and Karim for their efforts and their help during the competition. Thank you very much. Now, let me direct the attention to 7 people in particular, the organizing committee. We have improvised and found a way for me to thank them. You can probably, I'm not sure if you can see it with this camera, but there's some great orchids, some beautiful orchids next to me. And that's my way of thanking this committee. Would have loved to give them a hug myself and hand them over, but we need to socially distance ourselves, obviously. Let's start with Nargis, who is currently watching from home. She is the youngest of the committee, but also the most optimistic person, I think, of the committee. And I think you have to be as program manager, because how else would you have been able to meticulously map out the whole program while not running away crying because of the high workload? We have received so many comments from participants, jury members, case solvers, RSM staff, and case partners about how well this competition has been organized. And that is on you, Nargis. You can be proud of yourself, and I will personally deliver one of these orchids to you next week, so don't you worry about that. Then Josje, our events and communication manager, just behind the camera right there, making eye contact right now. So you were probably the most excited for this competition. And I understand why. You have been talking to all these faculty advisors, and probably developing a bond with them, a relationship with them over the times in your email contact. So how exciting must it have been for you to see all those faculty advisors log in on our platform, Let's Get Digital. Part of your excitement must also have come from the great pool of competing universities that you have been able to together, basically. We have had a record amount of universities show interest for our competition this year. And it has been hard in these difficult times for some of our universities to come up with a team. So that meant that you had several times to turn 180 degrees to make sure that the pool of competing universities still turned out to be this great. I want to thank you. I wish you luck in finding the right thing for you next year, whatever that may be. And I want to invite you to get one of the orchids. You're the first one here, so pick one that you like. I have a feeling it's going to be the white one.
It's going to be the white one. Thank you.
Thank you, Josje. Then, our commercials. To start with Luc. You have not had the typical year of a commercial of the RSM Star Case competition. That is because you had too many qualities that were indispensable. You are an InDesign pro, you are the biggest Google nerd I've ever known, and you are a master in the art that I call Microsoft Teams. This made that you were called upon most of our committee in our urgent-only chat. Look, at the same time you were a light in the darkness for a lot of our jury members. I am sure that the Apple Store in Charlottesville will not hesitate to hire you when they know what you've done for this competition. I wish you the best of luck at the University of Virginia next year, and I also would like to invite you to pick out one of the orchids. All right, Femke, our other commercial. You're probably a better commercial than I am, to be honest. The way you've handled all difficult situations with our case partners is admirable. DocuBird and Coca-Cola could not have found themselves in a better situation with you and Luke. Few people will know that you are also a more than competitive competition rower. During this week, you were still able to get your trainings in, while at the same time being there for everybody when they needed you, or the committee. If you want something, you get it done, and I am certain this will hold for your immediate future. Whatever you will do, good luck, and please come. Is Femke here? Yeah, there she is. All right, please come and pick your orchid.
Thank you.
All right, then Ayelen, our marketing and recruitment manager, also from home. I know you're watching. Because of the new setup of our case competition, we found ourselves in August 2020 without a LinkedIn page for the Case Club. Last time I checked, which was just before this recording, we had 525 followers. That comes down to 75 followers gained every month. I think that is very impressive. And I'm sure this amount will grow now that I'm saying this. I'll be sure to follow the RSM Star Case Club on LinkedIn if you want to know more about what we've been up to and what we will be doing in the future. You're also responsible for recruitment, which includes the recruitment of your successors, which is going on right at this minute. During the case competition, talk about bad timing. Nevertheless, you've done a great job, and I wish you all the best in your next part of your journey in China. Maybe you can meet up with the COHK team. That would be amazing. I will also obviously be sure to hand deliver one of these orchids to you at home next week. Thomas, hi.
Hi.
Thomas has mentioned just now, so he kind of stole the spotlight from me, that he is my roommate indeed. And I'm not gonna lie, if it would be a lie if I were to say that I wasn't slightly worried in the beginning of the year about how things would turn out in our relationships, because we are good friends, and it might be difficult working together. But I have to give all the credits to you, Thomas. You were able to make sure that we could work together very well, and even if we didn't agree sometimes about the budget, or maybe more than a few times. So Thomas is our treasurer, but he's been so much more than that. If you liked our platform, thank Thomas. But also thank Thomas if you liked the speakers event, this closing or the opening. And to all of you who just said, yes, I did like those moments and those things. On behalf of everybody, I would like to thank Thomas for that. Obviously, you're going to have the final remark in this closing, so you can choose if you want to pick it up and place it somewhere. But I know you're seeing this. Otherwise, leave it there and we'll pick it up after the recording.
Pick it up.
Thank you. Last but not least, Adrian, our chairman. You've been able to be realistic when needed, optimistic when asked for, and critical when nobody asked for it. Our RSM stakeholders loved working with you. I'm looking at Linda right now. I'm sure she loved working with Adrian. She's doing a thumbs up. Otto is there as well. He loved it as well. I loved working with you. You guided the committee through a new environment, which is the online environment, but also the new RSM Star Case Club. And you did that as well as anybody could have done it. I'm sure you will find your dream internship at Deloitte, Spain. Please let me visit to practice my Spanish. Maybe we can have an estrella with the IE team while we're at it. Adrian, thanks. That concludes my part of this closing ceremony. I would like to give the final words to Thomas, who has a final word for the participants and the faculty advisors, I'm sure.
Thanks a lot, Matthijs, for all the warm words. And I want to thank all speakers again for all their warm words. And then I want to focus me on the participants and the faculty advisors especially. On behalf of the whole organizing committee, the RSM, DocuBird, Coca-Cola, everyone involved, thank you so much for participating in this online RSM Star Case competition. It's not been easy. It's been challenging, but it's been amazing. We enjoyed every minute of it, and we hope to welcome some of you next year on the RSM Star Case Competition 2022, hopefully physically in Rotterdam here. I will be there as a buddy or whatever. I'll be involved. Thanks again so much. Enjoy your evening. Goodbye.